You've had some great songs, not only on this new record, but some great songs with Swell Season, The Frames, and I've got a handful here. I just thought I'd get your thoughts, your memories on these songs. So I'm going to start with the new record, Rhythm and Repose, and the lead single is Love, Don't Leave Me Waiting. Great song, by the way.
Great.
So a few thoughts on the message of that song.
Lover, you've been hesitating. Well, I mean, that song is just really, it was fun. I remember sitting, again, we went into the studio and I had this idea and Ray started to play this, like, you know, it was a bit like that 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover beat. That, and it was just like, oh, that feels good. And then, and we just started playing it. And I had this, you know, I was thinking about this John Martin song when I wrote it, to be honest. Just there's a great John Martin song, is Life, Go Easy on Me, Love, Don't Let Me Down. And that was the song that I remember singing in my head. And I had this, lover, you've been hesitating. Just this, like, I kind of liked, I was kind of in, the character I was in was kind of, I was sort of feeling a bit like Marvin or something. I wanted to write a song from a different perspective than I usually would. So I was kind of, you know, I'd been listening to, and I have been listening to a lot of rocksteady music and Anton Ellis and the Paragons, and, you know, Jamaica was a big deal for me because a lot of that music was made in, I mean, all of it was made in Jamaica, and I'd gotten really into rocksteady, you know. And so for me, I wanted to sort of tribute that music, and then having Levon's guys come down and play the brass on it was also really important. You know, you had Clark Gayton there who played in the Mingus Big Band, and I was like, here's a dude from Dublin, you know, playing with these giants, and it just felt easy. I felt like I was getting an opportunity to make music with some huge people, and the song just sort of fell out. You know, and don't leave me waiting. And it was just an easy song to write. And honestly, there wasn't much thinking to it, you know. It was more just like, you know, if love is out there and if love is real and if it's something that and if there is someone out there for us all, then come on, show your face. That was really what it was like, really simple message, you know. I'm gonna see you there.
I just listened to the entire record. It's called Rhythm and Repose. One of the other great songs on there is called High Hopes. And I love this one because it's so sweeping. It's a little different than the rest of the record. Give me some insight into that one.
The song, again, came out of me just really, you know, being a big fan of the band. And I kind of just like that boom. I was like playing it, and then in my head, where my head was, I was kind of thinking about a soldier. I remember there was a lot of talk about bringing the troops home, and not that the song touches on many things. All songs do. It's like you could never say this song was about, you know, wanting your soldier husband to come home. But I just like this idea of, like, I'm working on a high hope, and if it all works out, you might just see me or hear from me in a while, which means I might be coming home. I know, you know, I'm going to make it across this tightrope, and then I'm coming for my prize, and and originally, the song was kind of, it was a bit more sad, but then I just thought, you know, I want to write something that's just positive, and it's about we're gonna be all right. You know, it was very important for me to, that sentiment, it's gonna be fine. You know, I'm gonna see you there. I'm gonna see you there. Well, I'm heading back to pack a bag to head out on the road to take away what I know is mine. And I'm running down and past the yellow house with Joe into the breeze where no one seems to care. And I'm feeling the pull dragging me off again.
All right, moving into Swell Season. Obviously, Swell Season happened after the popularity of Once, the film. It's yourself and Marketa Erglova. You did sort of a couple records, and one of the big ones is called Feeling the Pull. That's one we play all the time. Anything you can offer me about those great Swell Season tracks that are now, you know, going back 3 or 4 years.
No, it's amazing. Wow. Well, Feeling the Pull was a song that I wrote many years ago. I remember in Kerry in Ireland, and there was just that sense of, again, just having to follow something, having to follow the music. And I remember we had just started making a record, the Frames, and we were making For the Birds. And I wrote that song around the time of For the Birds, but it didn't kind of fit the mood of that record. And I just sort of kept the song. It was just a song that was there. you know, and it was just a kind of a ramble, you know, like a rant, you know. But I'm feeling the pull. And I remember at the time, actually, we were in Kerry. It was 2001. I remember Halley's Comet was in the sky, and there was a big moon over Kerry Bay. And I remember just like really getting that sense of like, I really want to get out there in the world and make music. I want to get into the, you know. I remember driving into Boston one time and looking and seeing all these windows lit up in the nighttime, you know, all these windows, all these apartment blocks, and going, what do you have to do what do you have to do to write a song that gets into all of those windows? So all of those people in all those windows have heard you. So it was just it was a song of kind of ambition and sort of, you know, I feel the world call, and, you know, I need to get out there and do it. So that was really where that song came from. The sentiment is really, really very simple.
And we go low rising, 'cause we've got to come up, low rising. There's no further for us to fall. Low rising, 'cause I feel we've had enough, and we're low rising. For the love of you.
Low Rising.
Low Rising again was probably my first attempt at writing a kind of a soulful song. You know, clearly I'd been listening to a lot of Van, and I always have been. But for some reason, that when that song came, it felt like a release. It felt like saying to your lover, or, you know, or to your friends, it's gonna be fine, you know. And again, it was a turning. I feel like it was a turning in my songwriting, where I was kind of getting out of expressing the misery and getting into expressing the hope. And that's why hope was kind of became then a more featured word as time has gone by. And I'd like to think that at some point you get to celebration. And that's a whole other thing. And that's where Levon was. Levon was at that high place where his music was about celebration, you know, and he was able to sing those songs. And that's why the atmosphere of the you know, I saw Mavis Staples play last week, and it was just pure celebration. It was like, it was love. It wasn't about a guy and his questions. It was, you know, it was about the big stuff. It was about the big picture. So I would like to, you know, Low Rising, was a song where it was like, you know, I want to sit you down and talk. You know, I want to work this out. How can we work this out? Because we're low rising. Low rising was just sort of felt like a, you know, I remember someone mentioning the low rise houses, and I think we were Philadelphia, or something, the low rises, and I was like, that's a lovely, you know, because for me it sort of felt like the slow beginning of the upturn, you know, the slow beginning of things getting better.
Well, I'd certainly be remiss if I didn't ask about Falling Slowly. This is a song that when we're watching the film, you guys are just learning how to play music with each other, and this song just sort of happens. It's a beautiful scene. It's a great song. It sort of became an anthem for you guys. It won you the Oscar. Now that you've played it 1,000 times in studios and concerts, tell me a bit more about Falling Slowly.
Well, I mean, that song has been just an extraordinary sort of song for us. And it's actually kind of a sad song, you know. Well, Falling Slowly was really kind of about, I guess, falling in love. It was kind of like, that was really where my head was in the beginning. And again, take this sinking boat and point it home. It's like, you know, there's something in us that's ailing. There's something in us that's not quite working, but we can do it, you know. We actually have within our power and true honesty and true discomfort, and just, you know, even saying them, putting your ugly pulsating ambitions and difficulties on the table, and let's look at it. And if we're strong enough, we'll make it true. And so take the sinking boat and point it home. We still have time. It's just sort of going, come on, what have you got? You know, can you give me some truth? Can you give me the truth about this or whatever? So that song was really, and you know, and in the context of the character, it felt good, because he was on the one hand, he was getting over a relationship that has failed but might survive. And that girl had gone to London. And he was in the middle of meeting someone who was incredibly powerful for him. And the only real reference to that is "I don't know you, but I want you all the more for that." For me, that was the lyric. That was what I needed to say in that, and then the rest of it was about the past relationship and hopefully kind of somehow making it work if you can.
Glen Hansard has been my guest. The new album is Rhythm and Repose. Thank you so much for being here, sir.
Thank you. It's good to be here.